So it's common knowledge that childcare in the UK is quite expensive. It's really expensive, and it's one of the most talked about struggles of people moving to the UK. I'll be sharing some of my experiences and how I was able to cope with childcare, and just sharing based on my own experiences and suggestions. So if you're interested in knowing more, please stay tuned, and thank you. Welcome back. So if you followed my last video, you know that I moved to the UK during the lockdown, and I was pregnant as well with a toddler, and I had to school. So I'll just be sharing ways on how I was able to, cope with this. In the UK, childcare isn't free. It begins to be free, I think, from 4 years old. However, from 0 to 3, you have to find a way to cater to your children. I'll suggest that if you're moving to the UK as a family, try as much as possible to come together. That's father and mother, so that you can alternate between taking care of your kids, because it makes it a lot easier. You might not necessarily need to outsource childcare for your child. But if this is something that is unavoidable, then please listen on. So the first suggestion I'll give to anyone, whether you're working or you're studying, is to find a way to work remotely. For me, it was easier as a student because it was during the lockdown, so most of the lectures were online or hybrid kind of setting. For people working, for moms especially, I would suggest going the route of applying for hybrid or remote roles. This can be found easier through tech roles, so project management, business analysis. If you want me to do a full video on how you can transition to that, I'll be happy to do that. Just let me know in the comment section. Also, doing YouTube is one flexible way of earning while still being able to spend time with your family. So that would be my first suggestion, finding ways to work remotely, whether as a student or as somebody working. So the second way I was suggesting is finding a nursery. You could easily do that, I think, on the UK Gov website. I'll try and link that in the video. You can find nurseries. I think some nurseries can take kids from as early as 3 or 6 weeks, up until 3 years old. Just do your research. Nurseries are quite affordable, and I think I didn't use the nursery personally, but I know that they have limits of how many kids can be supervised by a particular carer or caregiver. Nursery kind of prepares your child for the school setting, which will lead me to why I didn't go for the nursery. However, if you have older kids, I'm saying older than from baby age or infant stages, I think maybe from 3 or 2 years old, I'll suggest nursery will be the way to go. So the nurseries have tea time, snack time. You can just find out what's best. I'll suggest it's very important to find the ratings and reviews from other parents about the nurseries. Here in the UK, school systems have ratings, so you have the good, very good, outstanding, and all of that. Make sure to do your due diligent research before putting your kids in any of these institutions, basically. Third point and suggestion I'll be giving is finding a childminder, which was personally what I went with. You can find childminders on different websites. I think I use childminder.co.uk. For some other places, you could go to the particular place where you're in your location and just check on the council website, and then you can find childcarers there. The difference between nursery and childcare is that childcare has more like a homely setting, and that's why this was my first option for my son then. So I went with a child carer. So when you go on the site, you can find their ratings as well, see their reviews. Other parents can put up reviews, and basically, you know, women are very instinctive, so just go with your instincts and trust that you get a good person. Another reason why I think childminders are, I'll say I went with them, was because some of them are very flexible. So you have childminders from as early as, some of them start work 7 a.m. Some of them even do overnight services. I never did that, so because I didn't need to, but you know, I don't know your situation. Childminders are very flexible, and then some of them also give your kids breakfast and lunch. They'll just ask if your child has any allergies, and if you're open to that, then that's a good option to go. And as well as some of them do pickups and drop-offs. So personally for me, that was one thing I was looking out for, because of my activities for the day. I needed somebody that would be able to pick up my child and drop them off, and so I got that. But just be aware that you need to, for childminders, you need to research ahead of time, because I think they have a limit of numbers of kids they can take care of. So if you don't check on time, you might not get a childminder because it might be fully booked. Some of them are even as fully booked till the next year. Yeah, so that's that about childminders. One thing I forgot to add with the childminders, I love about them, you know, just buttressing on how flexible childminding can be, is the fact that there's so many activities childminders do. I didn't want my child to be like in a school setting. I still wanted him to have that homely feeling, basically easily transitioning him into normal school. So for childminders, some of them go to the zoo, farms, they do art and craft, they teach them how to cook. Some childminders have animals, which will ask if it's okay. So I was open to fine with a childminder that had a dog, because I wanted my child to just, you know, experience that and all of that. So anyway, you could always ask and, you know, do your research and make sure that that particular childminder is the one for you. Their rates can go from, as I think, from £8 upwards, depending on how sought after they are, if that makes sense. So there's some childminders that have higher ratings, and some of them that are new that might give like cheaper services. What is most important is the services that they give, and that is non-negotiable when it comes to your child. So that's it. So the next option is looking for live-in sitters / nannies. I think they're quite different. I'd never used any of these services, but I would say you can also research on that. So finding out about living nannies, they're nannies that could stay in the house. I think they are more expensive. And then babysitters are people that could just come for some hours for you and go back. So you can find out about that. Hi, so one last thing I would suggest you do is get a community. This is very important. Like, this really was a lifesaver for us. Bless you. My baby's here, so see the childcare. So getting a community is really very important. For me, it was church. For us, it was church and read. There were people to help. Depending on the kind of church you go to, you might find that they have toddler groups. So this can be an easy, place where you could. Although toddler groups, you need to be there, but it kind of eases the stress, and you might find people in your community that will be willing to help you, especially for like emergency run arounds or something. So I hope all of this will be very useful to you. And if there are any suggestions or some things I've not mentioned, there are gurus here watching, please comment to help a family help their transitioning easier, basically, and even to help me. I'm really open to hearing any other ways that would make my work, my balance, like my child caring and work balance easier. Please share with me. And thank you so much for watching this video. Do well to please subscribe, like, thumbs up. I'll be glad to see you in my next video. Bye.